Hi everyone, today I wanted to talk you through RoadMap and how to complete the goal setting and orientation process. So here I am in RoadMap. I've logged in, and for those of you who are familiar with RoadMap, you'll notice it looks a lot different than it has done in previous years. So we've cleaned up the home landing page, and you can see it looks a lot less cluttered. We've removed the goals and the development action section. So it looks a lot cleaner and a lot less confusing. However, all the functions that you are used to are still available. So here is your task pane, and this section here is just a news feed that lets you know what's been happening in relation to you within RoadMap. So if somebody completes your goal setting or gives you some feedback, that'll show up here. Today we're going to talk about goal setting, but before we get into that, I just want to give you a quick tour of the other pages within RoadMap so you know where everything is. So clicking in here into the three bars, if you go into my performance, you'll see this area looks simpler too. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here just so the writing is not so small. So here you can see we have Hayley, she's a teacher. Under this profile and PD section, this is where Hayley records any professional development that she's done throughout the previous years and any teaching observation records that she's done. She can also add in her education and any language skills that she wants to hear, but as a minimum everybody needs to put in the professional development they complete while at MELP in here and record their formal teaching observation records in here. And your centre manager can help you with that as well. In this area here, feedback, this is just where notes are kept. So maybe your manager has given you some feedback or recorded some conversations that you did, or a colleague has acknowledged you, and that will be stored here. Completed goals and reviews, this is where you can see previous goals, previous end of year results by clicking through these blue links here. When you complete your goal setting this year and you want to look back and see what are your goals and what are your development plans that you've agreed to, you can come in here. And the documents section, that just stores key documents. So as you can see, Hayley has got her observation, feedback and her teacher reflection from last year in here. And to go back to the home page, we just click the little house symbol up here. So as you can see, we've gotten rid of the goals page and the development action page up here, and that looks a lot cleaner now. So here we are on the main page, and this here is our first task that we need to do, is to complete our 2020 goals. So to do that, we just click in. And this brings us to the 2020 goal setting process. So basically the process this year starts with you as the team member. You get to review your goals, have a read of them, think about if there's any development you want to do this year, and complete any orientation that might be required of you. Then once you've completed that, your manager will either set up a time to talk or meet with you and discuss your goals and any orientation questions you might have, and then your manager signs it off. So it's a pretty simple three-step process. So the goals that are in the system are pre-loaded based on your role within the organization. So all teachers will be assigned the same goals. And goals are of three parts. You've got the outcomes, that's kind of the main objective, what we're trying to achieve and how that'll be measured. And this individual focus area here is just your opportunity to focus in on one particular area within that goal that you may want to work on in the year, or if these goals if elements of this don't apply to you in your specific role, here is where you can record that as well. Um, so we're just going to put in some test comments here, but if you are not unsure what to put in here, you can leave this blank and you can talk it over with your centre manager, and they can assist you in thinking about what might be some areas that you want to focus on. But I've just put here that the one thing I specifically want to focus on in this goal, I might be, getting learners on track, attendance into on track. Actually, I probably should have put that one down here. Because that's more around the administration. So yeah, just read through these goals, work through them. And as I said, if you can think of anything that you particularly want to focus on, then you talk to your centre manager and they can help you. This blank section here, this is really just if you have a particular goal that you want to work on for yourself this year, you can add that here. It's a free text section. Similarly, if you've got a function within the organization that's outside the normal and you want to have a goal around that, you can pop that in here, or your manager might add a goal in. So you just put in the name of the goal, the outcomes you want to achieve, you want to put the measures, how you know you've been successful, and maybe there's one or two actions that you need to do to get things moving. Great. These are the role related competencies. Have a read of these. And then your development plan, that's where you're going to focus on any development that you want to do in 2020, and you can record that here. Don't worry if you don't know yet what you want to do. You'll be able to capture developments that you do in the PD section back here. But if you do have something in mind this year, like maybe you know already that you want to attend CLISOL in October, you can add that in here. Okay, so that's the title there, and you might say what you want to achieve out of it. Okay. So the next part of the goal setting process is the staff orientation, and basically that's just a quick refresh of key information that you need to know to help you succeed at ELP. If you're returning to the organization, you've worked from us before, a lot of the information in here will be already known to you. But if you're new, then there'll probably be a little bit more reading and clicking through involved. Now, the first thing is really important to do is to read this and to log into the intranet, because all of these blue links link on to somewhere else, and most of these are based at the intranet. So I'm just going to do that now. Hopefully it works. So yes, it brings me to this login page, and unfortunately it'll probably ask you to do this as well, even if you have logged on to the ELP intranet before. So I'm just going to use ELP tutor and the password English. So ELP tutor and the password English, and that information is there. Enter that in, enter in this JD9RE capture and log that. And now I'm into the staff intranet, and the HR page is a really useful resource here, and employment new staff has got all the information generally you need when you're a new staff member, including the induction book, which is just a really handy resource, and it's got everything in there. I'll click on that and show you that. So that's the handbook there. and it's got all sorts of information on pay slips, history, that kind of thing. So that's the intranet. So just going back into the orientation now. So now I'm going to do the program and policy orientation, and the first question I come on is, I know how to access the staff intranet. Well, I've just done that, so I'm going to tick yes. The next thing I come to is I've read and agreed to abide by our code of conduct and our guiding principles. So if I'm not familiar with those, I'm just going to click on that here, and it's going to bring me to the page within the intranet where I've got the code of conduct and the guiding principles, and I can read those there. So just working through it, and once I've read those I can click yes. So working through each of these items, I know where to find our current policies. Yep, so I'll just click through the link. So talk to your manager if there's any new program updates or changes that you may need to talk to. Maybe if you're an administrator, that won't be relevant to you, so you'll just click not applicable. And again, we'll say this is not applicable for this person. If you're familiar with their teaching strategy, you can just click yes, yes. But if you don't know the answers, click no, and then your manager will talk you through these. The next section is the health, safety and well-being orientation. So we've got a health and safety software system called GOSH, and all our information on health and safety is on GOSH, and it's also available on the intranet. So if I click on GOSH here, it takes me through to our homepage for GOSH. It's got some useful articles, preparing for a pandemic, and then it's got a lot of information on here. So key documents, a whole list of essential documents that you need. And they also link through to the intranet, and there's a how to log on to the intranet page here. And we've got roles and responsibilities. That's who your first aiders are and your fire wardens. If you want to report an incident or a fire drill here, you can do that here. If you want to see our hazards, you can have a look at that here. So that's just GOSH. So basically for health and safety, for the safety of you and our learners, you need to know some key information both for your centre and for your venues if that's applicable. So if you're teaching off-site, you also need to know the information as it relates to the place where you're teaching. So yeah, you know where the evacuation procedures are, yes, and you know it for your venue as well. Okay, or if you don't work off-site, you click not applicable. And so just working through each of these items, and again, all of this information is available. We're going to pretend that Hayley doesn't teach off-site, so she doesn't need to know it for her venues. She knows who they are. The defibrillator, there's a link to where you can find that on the website, which links to a website. I know where the hazards are. This links to a video showing you how to use GOSH to report an incident, hazard or fire drill. Remember, you can always just tell your centre manager or your coordinator if you want to report an incident. You don't have to use GOSH, it's there as an option, but you can also, just like you've been doing up to now, emailing or calling your centre manager. And obviously if it was something really serious, we'd be expecting you to get on the phone first. So as I said, you need to know where GOSH is and how to do it, but talk to your centre manager about how they want it managed, and you can always, as long as you're just telling somebody, this just gives you another option to report. So just click yes, yes. So understanding your student health needs really is just about as it pertains to time in the classroom. So if somebody is diabetic and they've shared that with you, and they've got a learning or a health plan around that, just that you're aware of that and know how to manage it if something happens in class. So we're just keeping it very specific to that definition. Payroll, personal workplace emergency plan, EAP. And then once you've gotten through it all, you just hit yes. And then to save the changes, we're going to do that first. It'll do a little spell check. I'm just going to tell it to learn that, learn that. Right, and then thank you. And then once I'm finished, happy with everything, I've gone through everything, I've done my goals, I've put in any development I want to do, I can hit submit. If I've missed anything, it'll send me a reminder to go back and complete that section. Once I'm finished, I have the completed tick here. Then when I click back onto my home page, I can see them all caught up. I've got no tasks to complete. Then once I'm finished and I want to see, and my manager has signed it off, we've had our meeting, I'll be able to find it in here, completed goals and reviews. Well, that's it. Hopefully you'll find the goal setting pretty straightforward. I would encourage you to reach out to your centre manager or your coordinator if you are having problems. They will be able to assist you and guide you through it. But it is a pretty straightforward process, and hopefully with the links you'll find that it's easy to access and find the information that you need. Thanks everybody for your time today, and good luck.